Hi, in this video, we'll see what is health. I just want to share my thoughts with you. Is health just the absence of a disease? Supposing I do not have any pain and all my medical reports are fine, does it mean that I'm healthy, or is there something more to health? Or is it possible that I do have a pain in my body, I have some arthritis, etc., but still I feel I'm healthy? So defining health is not so very easy. It's easier to define a disease, but more difficult to define what is health. So let us see a few things. The few facets of health, general health. First, of course, is physical health. Very, very important, especially when we are young. So physical health is the ability and well-being in your body to carry out all the physical activities you need for your age. So a small child is physically healthy, means it's able to run, it's able to play, etc. And if I am healthy, means I'm able to do my activities, I'm able to keep my house clean, I'm able to do cooking, and so many other things. So it also includes lack of pain, but even if you have pain, remember you can still feel healthy, because health is a concept of well-being, more to do with well-being than to do with reports. Okay, so to put it short, physical health is all about physical activities, day-to-day activities, and whatever your profession demands. Now, the human body has evolved in a particular fashion for particular physical activities. For example, we are bipeds. We stand on two legs. We don't go on all fours, right? So there is a reason for that. Our eyes have evolved for a particular reason. And our digits. So we are the only animal who have such prominent thumb. So this is meant for grasping, holding, mixing, etc. It's evolved for all that in the process of evolution. And our legs and feet have evolved to do a lot of walking, jumping. Now, unfortunately, with change in lifestyle and so much of comfort coming to our lives, we don't use our body, and we don't use all the parts of our body for what it was intended and why it has evolved. So today you have to consciously be physically fit. An animal does not do any exercise, right? All its activities keep it fit. You see stray dogs, how fit they are. They don't do anything extra. They may not even get good food most of the time. So the main aspects of physical fitness is, or physical health is, to keep yourself physically active. Unfortunately, a lot of jobs today do not involve physical activity. All the computer jobs, you sit at a desk, work with a desktop or a laptop, and you hardly get any movement in your body. All office work, banks, etc. So you have to consciously involve in activities which is good for your entire body. Okay? You don't have to go to the gym and do a severe workout. No. So you can first start with all the physical activities you can do by yourself at your home. Your cleaning, your gardening, your washing, etc. And then yoga is one excellent way to stretch all your muscles and activate all your joints, because otherwise we don't do all that. Okay, so I would advise all of you to go in for yoga therapy. It's extremely good. And then do some actual physical activity like walking, swimming, cycling, running, etc. Whatever you like and whatever your body permits. So the physical activities build balance in your body, strength. That means your muscles get built. Remember, it's not the bones which give you the balance, it's the muscles. The bones give you the structure, and it's the muscle which gives you the balance. So your muscles have to be activated. So for that, you have to stretch the muscles and do some exercise. So a lot of things like yoga, walking, swimming, etc. will keep your body physically healthy. It will improve your digestive system, and it will also improve your sleep pattern. So there are Two other important points of physical health. First is physical activity. The other two are diet, food. So it's not enough if I'm just active, I do exercises, etc., but I eat junk food, I eat crap, I don't eat at the proper time, and I don't eat the proper quantity, I overeat or I undereat, and I eat the wrong types of food. All these also can lead to physical ill health. And the third most important thing is sleep. Now remember, the energy in your body is needed for your activities and for your body activities. For example, digestion of food requires so much of energy. Your heart to pump the blood requires energy. And if you run, that running activity requires energy. So when do your organs recoup this energy? They have to recoup. No, your organs have to function from your birth to death. So when do they recoup energy? And supposing your body is injured, when does it heal? This takes place best when you sleep, because when we sleep, there are no other external activities. More or less, your thought process has come to a standstill. There are no physical activities. So all the organs in your body can recoup their energy, refurbish, and make you fresh for the next day. So sleep is very, very, very important. And healing takes place in sleep. Healing takes place in sleep. So these are the main aspects of physical health. And next, is it enough if I'm just physically healthy, but then I don't feel good? I'm feeling depressed. I'm over anxious. I panic. I don't feel anything good. So the next aspect is mental health. You have serious mental disorders like mania, depression, schizophrenia. They are all disorders, diseases. But absence of that is not mental health. Mental health is, again, a feeling of well-being, a feeling of having a joy in life, having a joy in living, a feeling of feeling good about yourself, about people around you, about life, about things in your life. So there are two main hormones responsible for this. One is dopamine and the other is serotonin. And together they control your thought, your moods, the feelings of joy, your sexual desires, and your thought processes, your memory, etc. And dopamine is always triggered whenever you do things which make you happy. For example, when you eat a food you like. So supposing somebody likes jamuns, the moment you eat jamuns, dopamine is released and you feel good, you feel happy, right? And this is why drugs are rampant. You know, the level of dopamine triggered by drugs is so high, so high as compared to eating some food you like. So high means it is around hundreds of times. The order is so high. And that's why, you know, when people take drugs, we say they are high. That means they are in some elevated state, but that's not good. That's not good. That's an artificially created high. Okay. So to increase your dopamine level, do things which make you happy. For example, teaching makes me very happy. And the moment I give a lecture, my dopamine levels are up. Taking exercises, doing a brisk walk, etc., being out with nature, going under the sunlight, all things increase your dopamine. Serotonin, being with people, again, doing activities you like, having good sleep, all that will increase your serotonin. So for mental health, again, you see, it is related to what you are doing in physical health. Eat proper food, sleep well, and do exercise. This can improve both your physical health and mental health. And the third is social health. Social health is how you behave as a social animal, how you're with people. Are you a person whom people want to talk to, who people warm up to, or are you a person, somebody whom the moment the people see you, they go away? So that is social health. So social health involves conscious introspection and thought about our behavior. Am I a person? Is my behavior good enough for people to come to me? And see, human beings are so lucky because our awareness level, our conscious level is so much greater than animals. So you can think and you can change. You can change. Supposing I'm short-tempered, supposing I shout at my children and suddenly I find that my children are moving away from me. I have the ability to think, what am I doing to drive my children away? I'm a teacher. Supposing I find that my students don't come to class. So what is it that is suddenly making them absent? So you have the ability to think. So have an introspection about your behavior, how you relate to your immediate family, to people around you. Are you warm? Are you genuine? Are you compassionate? Do you care? So all this will improve your social health. And improving your social health automatically improves your mental health. And improving your mental health automatically improves your physical health. And the last aspect of health is spiritual health. Again, most all animals, they operate by instinct. They feel hungry, whatever food is available, they eat. Right? They have a desire to mate, whoever is available, they mate. So we have crossed that stage. And we have evolved wherein we can think. See, today, what all man has done, what is universe? How is it evolving? Is there a God? Is there no God? So many questions we can ask. So spirituality is all about developing your consciousness so that you evolve as a better human being. I'm not talking of religion. You can choose whatever religion you want, but that should help you to evolve as a better human being, to develop a consciousness. So am I doing the right things? Am I doing the wrong things? And to be at peace with yourself. And realize that, everything is transient, including our life, our body, and we all have to transit and become one with the cosmos. And that should not cause us pain. That should not cause us pain. So spiritual health also, don't wait till you're 70 or 80 to take up spirituality. The younger you start, the better. So many scriptures, whether you take Bhagavad Gita, whether you take Bible, whether you take Quran, or whatever book you take, there are so many ways by which you can develop your spirituality and spiritual health. Now you see, we started with physical health, then mental health, then social health, and then spiritual health. Now, as we age, this order will reverse. Supposing I'm a 90-year-old person, then what happens? My physical health would possibly have degraded, which is again natural. And people may not want to come and talk to me because I'm too old and they are not interested in an old woman. Okay. So then it is this spiritual health which will keep you at peace. So meditation, spiritual practices, rituals, whatever you want, you can choose your path and develop your spiritual health alongside. Now coming to your health as a comprehensive unit of all these facets, there are a couple of things you can do. Firstly, don't crib about any issue with your health in whichever field, in any of these four spheres, right? Physical health especially is a very natural process. Even a metal undergoes fatigue. A wood piece undergoes fatigue, right? Eventually, they all crumble. So what about this body? After all, it's an organic matter. What happens if you keep a piece of organic matter? It will degrade. Same way we also degrade. So it is a natural process for us to feel physical discomfort, physical ailments, etc. And it's absolutely useless to say, oh, why did my sugar arise? Why did my BP go? Why am I feeling a pain? You are an organism and you'll feel all these things. Okay. So don't crib about it. Look at ways you can reduce that. Okay. And secondly, don't keep talking about your illnesses, etc. to everybody. Nobody is bothered. Maybe your family members and your doctor, that's it. Others, if they ask you how you are, you say, I'm fine. You'll feel fine. You don't have to go into a list of your ailments and telling them in detail about what is happening to you. Nobody is interested. And thirdly, don't identify yourself with your problem. Don't say, I am having attention deficiency. I am a cancer survivor. I am diabetic. I am hypertensive. I am a kidney patient. No. You have a body, and that body has diabetes. The body has some hypertension. You have a kidney. That kidney has a problem. So if the moment you start identifying yourself with the disease, it gets into your mind, and it can become deep rooted, and it can cause you a lot of mental depression, etc. So never identify yourself with your disease. You always find what you can do about it. Okay. And once you know you have a problem, see what lifestyle changes you can make. Can you go out, do some exercise? Can you do something around the house? Can you take up a hobby? Can you, if your children are away, can you do something? Can you do some social service? Actually, doing service is a lot of good. It has got a lot of benefits. It makes you feel good, and it improves your health in so many ways. So see what lifestyle change you can make. And lastly, always think health. Think of health. So every practice, every activity in your daily life should lead you to better health, physical, mental, spiritual, and social. Okay. Good luck. Be healthy.